you could be happy from within and peaceful from within, even if the people around you might not feel the same way, because their fight is internal in terms of happiness.
If your heart and mind is conflicting, you are not happy, you are not going to make others happy because you are fighting inside. I'm saying reconcile your heart and mind first. If you love someone, you are going to keep them in your heart. If you hate someone, you are going to keep them in your head. If you keep loving everyone, how there is a conflict? The hate and love conflict will not come.
Looking at the positivity, even while things are not going great, is what helps you move forward. And I think that's something that, there's nothing better than being able to move forward from something that could be challenging, what we perceive as challenging.
If you're happy with what you have, then you're going to be positive. If you're not happy with what you have, you're going to be greedy. What do you want? You want a big villa or big car, or what do you want? It's relative. That's why I said happiness is within you, not outside. You can be happy with limited things. You can be
Sorry, but isn't that a little contradictory also to the statement that happiness comes from within?
Yeah.
So when you say that, you could be happy from within and peaceful from within, even if the people around you might not feel the same way, because their fight is internal in terms of happiness. Or not fight. Let's just say that's how they're feeling internally. So you could still feel happy and positive and choose to ward off the people around you, no matter how close and far they are from you, from the way that they're feeling. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand. These are conflicts with individuals. If your heart and mind is conflicting, you are not happy, you are not going to make others happy because you are fighting inside. I'm saying reconcile your heart and mind first. If you love someone, you are going to keep them in your heart. If you hate someone, you are going to keep them in your head. If you keep loving everyone, how there is a conflict? The hate and love conflict will not come on personalities. If you have only one way of thinking, love everyone, you don't have enemies. If you're going to treat me as your enemy, that's your problem. I'm going to treat you as my friend, and I wish the best for you. There's a beautiful saying, Loka samasthas sukhino bhavantu. Sarvojanan sukhino bhavantu again. So, it is important that we understand we have to make others happy. To make others happy, you have to treat them as equal. There's no ego or conflict involved. There's only manifestation of love, care. That's why we set in the mission, no poverty, no hunger, everything is equal, no discrimination, social justice, freedom,
Quality.
right to live above the land, under the water, create for long-term thinking, sustainable. Sustainability means it's a vision which is enduring. So we want to make sure that you are happy in addition to me being happy. So I have to make sure that you inherit a world which is happy. So that's a positive thinking. Then if you start thinking the same way, you can only add value. You can only construct, not destruct. That's a positivity. So everything in life is a positivity. If you start interconnected and unceasing energy, if you think it's positive. If you understand the value of creation, the negative flow will not come. What has not happened yesterday, what you aspired for, is the best that can happen to you till yesterday. Because you have an opportunity to create today. Think this way, right? There is a tremendous amount of opportunity in recognizing, even if there are incidents which are not conducive to your liking, at least you are alive, to look forward. That's what you should be proud of. The current second, the current conversation which is going on now is an opportunity. I should be thinking this is a precious minute where I should manifest the values for long-term prosperity. That's a positive thinking, isn't it? That's how we move forward.
I've always heard you say, focus on what you do have as opposed to what you don't have. Like my very dear pet here. We have a beautiful girl who's a golden retriever, as you can see, who's enjoying our conversation, hopefully as much as you are. But yeah, I think as of course, hearing all of these things that you've said, I've heard them in different ways and forms growing up, but now that I understand better, or I look at life from a different perspective, or as you get older and you deal with different things in life, you do really understand that looking at the positivity, even while things are not going great, is what helps you move forward. And I think that's something that, there's nothing better than being able to move forward from something that could be challenging, what we perceive as challenging. But I think it also goes to say that sometimes we focus too much on what's happening around us, or our world seems to be this, and this, like, everything bad or good that's happening seems to be life and death. But when we look, not literally, but when we look around and we see how much is happening in the world, we realize that, as weird as it sounds, that we have enough to be happy. We have enough to be positive. We have enough to change things around. And I think I seem to perceive that from the many things that you were saying.
Yeah, happiness, you said it. Happiness is contention. If you're happy with what you have, then you're going to be positive. If you're not happy with what you have, you're going to be greedy. It doesn't mean that you cannot set in your vision, lift your vision time and again. But contention is happiness. Happiness is contentious. So you have to necessarily recognize, I cannot make you happy or unhappy without your will. That's important. I cannot also make you angry or disappoint you without your will again.
No, I agree.
So where is the question of not being happy crops up? What do you want? You want to have a lot of money? What do you want? You want a big villa or big car, or what do you want? It's relative. That's why I said happiness is within you, not outside. You can be happy with limited things. You can be contented with what you have and keep building the resources. Anything excess, you are only a trustee. You don't need these resources. So give it back to society in an orderly form without disregarding the social values or even personal sentiments for that matter. So the manifestation is very simple. Be happy always. Be peaceful always. You will always be happy and peaceful if you are positive and productive.
I feel like we can find the best balance between the conflicts internally.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say always, because as human beings, I think we have a spectrum of emotions, and we have a spectrum of, today logic is different from tomorrow when your emotions are different. Sometimes we tend to not always be happy, but the idea, I think, is that we always want to work towards being happy, always want to work towards being positive, always try to look inwards, but also at the same time try and focus on the things that you do have as opposed to the things that you don't have, because there's a lot of things that you do have that can get you to capture or get or attain the things that you don't have. It's possible. And like he said earlier, I think, or he's been saying from the book from Shivakera, is that winners don't do different things, they do things differently. And this is a line that has stuck so largely with me because I've heard him say it so many times, which basically means if you find a different way to do things or to work around life, it's going to culminate into something that makes you a winner in some way or form. Um, that's what I take from this conversation.
The conversation is quite positive again, because if you understand you can only be positive, that's the purpose of life, then everything becomes meaningful. The way forward is automatic. If you creep into negative thoughts, it is endangering your solvency. So these are not abstracts. Now, add to that is the attitude of gratitude. You are happy, you are positive, you want to be grateful to people who are responsible for this happiness. So that gives you a positive energy again. If you recognize that you are not alone in this planet, you are an integral part of this society. If you love people, you see the divinity in them, you are positive. If you see the sun that's within you, it is positive. If you see the soil which is giving you the food, it is positive. If you drink water, we are grateful for this opportunity. Your constitution is 72% water. So if you look at the ocean, if you look at the water, you are grateful, you are positive. If you look at any living creature, they have a breathing. This air is full of positive energy. So what you need is air. That's positive. Life is an energy, right? So you understand it's all your breathing. Otherwise you are a log of wood, right? So your living sensation is interconnected with air. That's beautiful. The sky is visibly showcasing its substance. Your gravity pulls your body and you are making all the movements, walking or moving around or even sleeping for that matter. These energy levels are positive creations. So every value creation is constructive enough to be proud of. There are enough opportunities in this planet which you can create. Don't go by the negative sensations. You convert yourself, everything into positive, auto positive, and put a negative circuit. You put a circuit breaker rather, for negative thoughts, and autopilot for positive thoughts. And that's the lesson we want to manifest for everyone. There's no point in mourning. There's no point in not recognizing the reality either. But at the same time, you can convert everything into an opportunity by positive thinking.
And just by the way, like I said, I've heard you say attitude of gratitude all along. And while I think I am grateful enough for some of the things in life, very recently that I have, very recently I purchased this journal, which is called the Gratitude Journal. And I write every day what I'm grateful for or what I have. And only when I started to write it down, I started to understand what you meant by the attitude of gratitude keeps you a little bit more happy, makes you see the positivity of things. And there are some days where I don't feel like it might be a bad day, right? Or I'm not feeling my best. And when I go back and read a couple of my previous days of what I was grateful for, it suddenly makes me feel and go back and reflect on those other things that I do have. So if I'm not having a good day, at least those were things that I felt like I had and something that I was grateful for. So I think that shift in energy happens when there are certain days that aren't going as planned and you go back and read it. So if you still want to try and inculcate that attitude of gratitude, maybe you'll go get a gratitude journal like I did, if that helps. And I hope this conversation has inspired you to be more happy, more positive, and work towards a more sustainable living.
No, it's important that you said attitude of gratitude. Let's understand this. I'll give you a story. There was an old man who was planting trees. There's an youngster who was passing by, asked him, "Hello, my dear old man, you're just putting the seeds now. It's going to be a tree. Maybe in 20 years or 30 years, you will not live in this planet. What's the purpose?" He asked a simple question. Do you think all these trees I planted, my forefathers have done it, or your forefathers have done it? Our job is to create this value and pass it on to others. So I am grateful for those who planted these trees and I enjoyed the fruits of it. We can only add value to others. You don't need to reap the benefit out of it. Very important. You can only keep giving. What you need, you will get it if you start giving. So our job is to look at greater prosperity for the future generation. Doesn't say that you don't take care of yourself or your own family or extended family. But you should also be mindful of the fact that future generation has to be well off than the present. And that's the purpose of every human being. We want to create a planet which is enduring its value for generations to come. The world was there before my birth and your birth. The world will endure its values even after existence. So it has got a purpose. Let's be positive and productive. Let's be grateful. Let's be purposeful in our mission. And that's a simple philosophy.
She's very interested in our conversation today.
That's right, yes. It's very positive.
She's walked us so many times. I think she's feeling the happiness and the gratitude.
Yeah.
And we are too, to have her. But no, I completely agree for the most part. And I'm very grateful for all of these life lessons that I get for free. And hopefully all of you are also inspired, or at least just giving it a thought, a second thought, listening to these conversations. And yeah, I'm just wishing for you to always find something to be grateful for, a lot of happiness, a lot of peace, and again, pushing yourself to do or create actions for a more sustainable living.
Thank you. I think the conversation is quite productive and purposeful.